Alright, welcome everyone. We should be live on both platforms right now. Was hesitating to do this, but I decided let's take advantage of the time right now that I do have. Probably going to stream for about 2 hours based on how audience retention is. Now also, just realized I am on the wrong screen, so forgive me. We're going to fix that real quick. That's better. There we go. So yeah, looking at windy right now, here's our low pressure system coming in on Thanksgiving. It has now kind of got that little bent back occlusion look to it. It's past the baroclinic leaf phase of cyclogenesis and is making its approach very soon. And it looks like the weather models have gotten their game together. Let me just make sure we're still live on YouTube. Okay, yes, we are. All right. Hello. S. Robert1234 says, welcome back. Yes, good to be back. At first, I anticipated yesterday being my own live stream, but I decided, you know what, it's time to go impromptu live today. Now, there is quite a bit to talk about right now. So let me start by pulling up Radar Scope, and this is from yesterday, so let's wait for that to refresh. There we go. A lot of the heaviest rain is moving out of the area up into the mountains right now, and a lot of this is in the form of snow once you get east of the North Bend area as well. I can pull up precipitation depiction on this map. This shows you an approximate rain-snow line right here. I don't believe it's snowing around Enumclaw city limits though. So this rain snow line on Radar Scope may not be 100% accurate. But I know right now we have sustained heavy snow over Stevens, Snoqualmie, and parts of White Passes. I'm not sure if it's snowing at White Pass. Snow for the upper elevations, SRopper1234 on YouTube. Lower elevation right now is all rain, 100%. All right, thank you everyone who's just jumping on. So yeah, some heavier showers moving off into Tiger Mountain right now. Moving from west to east. These have crossed SeaTac earlier. Now it looks like slight bit of a round 2 coming south of SeaTac, but it's not going to be nearly as intense as before. If the coastal radar decides to load, it'll give you an image beyond the Olympics here. Unfortunately, the Radar Scope PC app is a little buggy, so do bear with me on that. Really buggy today for some reason. So I'm going to try restarting and see if that fixes any of the issues. There we go. At least for now. So we've got this precip band off the coast that is going to bring some more steady precipitation to the coast of Grays Harbor County as the night goes on. Looks like a lot of this may be some radar clutter as well. There's definitely, like this shower right here, that's embedded within the radar clutter. But a little bit more rain coming in, especially south of Seattle tonight. But for the most part, other than some remnant showers coming into the north, the heaviest of showers north of Seattle should be done for the night. At least from what it's looking like right now. You may have a couple of these little pop-up showers in western Skagit, San Juan, and Whatcom counties, but that's about it. Everything else around Seattle and Everett is beginning to move off into the Cascade foothills at this time. All right, welcome everyone on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. I think YouTube's still trying to wake up a little bit. So yeah, once again, falling in the form of snow over the higher elevations. This rain snow line is not 100% accurate, so take that with a grain of salt. It's mainly once you get off into the upper foothills here towards the passes where it's full on snow right now. No reports of freezing rain either, which is good because model guidance did show the potential for some freezing rain around this time or in the next couple hours, mainly over Snoqualmie Pass, but not looking like it right now. Let's go back to the last 6 hours or so to show you guys the cyclogenesis of this system here. Going to see how well the loop works on this. So hang on just a few moments. All right, thank you for the likes on YouTube. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening now. Looks like the Windy app's going to be a little bit unresponsive again. Go figure. And let me also pull up some webcams as well here. We have a few live mountain cams going for Snoqualmie and Stevens. The main story right now is definitely Stevens Pass. So we're gonna pull this up. See, steady, heavy snow up at the pass right now. Benjamin Yurkovich with Washington Weather Chasers is up there right now and reporting heavy snow conditions at the moment. Looks like their stake up there is between 10 and 11 inches at the moment. So most of the heavy snow staying mainly up towards Stevens Pass at this time. However, starting to work its way down in the Snoqualmie as well. This one looks to be a little lower definition, unfortunately, so not going to stay on this one for too long, but this is right around the area that Ben Yurkovich was at before. Here's the snow stake right now. Now, the drift is up to around 11 inches, but the overall pattern is, like, the overall snow level is right around 10 inches, maybe a little bit under 10 inches right now. Still really impressive for just starting this morning. It's really taken off up there at the passes. Looks like the loop is starting to want to work right now. All right, for those of you just tuning in, hello, Anthony here with Puget Sound Stormwatch. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy afternoon to tune in. Happy early Thanksgiving to all of you. Just looking into a few things right now, trying to get this loop to load. Caitlin Haney on Facebook, traveling over Snoqualmie on Thursday. Is that pass going to be okay? Oh, that's rendering faster than I thought, but still giving you a good overall image of what's forming with this storm system here on Thursday. He's starting to get that bent back occlusion look on it, so it's developing into a mid-latitude cyclone as it approaches. Right now, current model guidance wants to throw this into northern Oregon, which would spare us from any super strong winds up here. Even then, the low pressure system itself is not going to be super impressive, but still enough for a breezy day for some of us. Starting to get some new high-resolution imagery in as well during this time. And it looks like the recent NAM models actually bring it just a tad bit north, but still not north enough to bring those really breezy winds into the Puget Sound. So Caitlin's wondering about snow on Thursday. It starts out really spotty, but then once you get into the afternoon hours on Thursday and right around Thanksgiving dinner time, it does turn back to snow here at the mountain passes. So it depends on if you're going more in the morning time or the afternoon time. The morning time looks okay. You may be dealing with pockets of snow and possibly some ice accumulation here and there. Just depends really at what time you're going to go. You know, if you go later on in the morning or earlier in the afternoon, you should be fine. Some of these showers could transition over to full rain for some time here at Snoqualmie during that time. All right, thank you, Teresa Rhodes, for sharing the stream. Much appreciated. If you guys like what you're seeing so far, please give the stream a share. Also, like, go ahead and comment. And subscribe if you guys want to see more streams like this. Kim Leonard on Facebook, welcome back. Oh no, not wind. Luckily, nothing to really run home about. It's still looking pretty unimpressive when it comes to wind. Just because of the weakness of this trough, but also the southern proximity of it. Morning, thank goodness, yeah. So if you go later on in the morning, like around 10 to 11 a.m., I think you should be okay. Of course, if you guys were paying attention on Facebook, I mentioned how the rain was a little behind schedule today. Just evidence that the weather plays by its own rules and doesn't always follow model guidance. So that's why I can't stress it enough when I say that. Don't always believe what the models show. High resolution guidance is really beginning to pick up on this Fraser River outflow as well. The northeasterly winds coming out of Canada here, going from between North Bellingham all the way up toward Blaine. This would be Thanksgiving Eve going into the morning of Black Friday. Some strong wind gusts possible up there, possibly up to 40 miles per hour, affecting the Fraser River Valley and areas downstream all the way into San Juan Island. Is anything happening in Enumclaw? Wind-wise, no. Snow, I haven't heard anything about that. However, it looks like right now snow is staying above the foothills and more towards the pass level. So yeah, model did okay there. And let me pull up radar scope as well. Don't believe this rain-snow mix line right here. It's definitely farther east than is showing on radar scope. This is just sort of an automated algorithm. But the heaviest of showers north of Seattle are beginning to move off to the east. There's a couple of little pop-ups here west of Skagit and Whatcom counties that'll move in, but shouldn't produce any heavy rain through the rest of the night. A little bit of strong shower activity south of Bellingham, but that will cross I-5 and move off harmlessly into the foothills here in the next hour or so. And some lighter rain, maybe a little bit of moderate rain here and there as shown on the radar here, coming into Tacoma from the west too. But right now, if you have a little bit of a break outside, enjoy it. Sonia, welcome back. It's all good. No need to worry about double mod duty. But thank you for joining in anyhow. Yeah. So yeah, radar showing heavy snow at the moment over Snoqualmie and Stevens passes. Some light snow over Chinook Pass. And I may have to switch over to the Portland radar to see what's going on down here at White Pass. It may be either a rain-snow mix or a light rain right now at White Pass. Unfortunately, that radar beam is almost perfectly blocked by Mount St. Helens. So it could be a rain-snow mix here at White Pass at the moment, but definitely full-on snow at Snoqualmie and Stevens right now, as evidenced by what you see here on the ski cams up here. Looks like the snow is starting to back off a little bit here at Stevens, but still coming down pretty heavy. Also looking at the snow stake up here too, the drift is up to 11 inches, but the overall flat portion of this is right around 10 inches or so, which so far is like almost dead center where the model guidance was showing. Around 8 to 12 inches, I believe, was the forecast by the NWS. So almost right on the money there. So right now there's a forecasted 1006 millibar system off to our southwest, moving off towards the northeast. Most models are showing this making landfall somewhere around North Oregon and rapidly weakening as it does so. And also, Maggie Majack says, safe travels, everyone. Happy holidays. Likewise to you. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, so these little surface level ridges are going to move east for a bit when this surface level trough comes in. So the atmospheric river is beginning to dry out and move off to the south a bit. Then the warm front from this next system can already be seen here right now. That's going to move into the area tomorrow afternoon. So double check the model guidance real quick. This is today's system. We dry out a little bit. Then it looks like the warm front begins to move in later on tomorrow evening. Then that system should make landfall somewhere between Hoquiam and Rockaway Beach. But, you know, we've had pretty good consistency here on the NAM model for a while. And then it started to throw the storm system a little bit to our north. So here's the last one. It had 1,011 millibars off the coast, just barely making it on the coast right there before the back end of that pressure really starts to fill in. That was the previous run of the NAM regional. 12Z is very similar, has it a little bit farther south, and this is the high res as well. In order to go back in time and see a little bit farther in time, we have to go to the regional. I was on the ConUS high res model at first. Keith Capolero, hello, welcome back. So yeah, this was 2 model runs ago. Had this low making landfall somewhere in Tillamook County, Oregon. Then the 6Z had it even farther south, towards the south central Oregon coast. See, and then the 0Z right around the most recent update here, about 1,011 millibars somewhere around Long Beach. See, we don't have as tight of a pressure gradient on this. Because once again, that area of low pressure is really beginning to fill in on itself as it moves closer. You know, we're lucky this isn't farther north and a little bit deeper. Just as a little refresher, here's the 0Z again. Has making landfall right around 10-12 millibars somewhere in Grays Harbor. Now when we translate this over to wind, this is lower resolution, just as a heads up. It has a little bit of a breeze making it into Pierce County, but not much farther north than that. Maybe some wind up here in the open waters of the Salish Sea as well. But you notice that wind is really going to start to degrade as the area of low pressure begins to fill in. Kristen Stanford, hello. Thank you again for your subscription the other day. Much appreciated. Yeah, welcome into the live stream. I'm live on both Facebook and YouTube simultaneously at this time. All right, 5 likes on YouTube. Thank you, guys. If you guys enjoyed the stream, make sure to give it a like if you're on Facebook or YouTube. And also share the stream if you like the information being portrayed or the overall stream style. If you guys have any feedback, feel free to let me know what improvements you'd like to see. Or what content you'd like to see as well. So a little bit of a break right now in the rain. The heaviest of showers are starting to move off into the foothills right now. But depending on the trajectory, it looks like this one may cross I-90 and then move just north of Snoqualmie Pass based on its current trajectory. But snow is starting to die down a little bit over Snoqualmie, but still coming down pretty good up here at Stevens right now. It looks like it's falling as either a snow mix or a light rain down here at White Pass in Lewis and Yakima counties. Keith Capolero says 43 degrees in Bellingham and almost a half inch of rain up here. Yeah, let's, thanks for the reminder as well. Let's go check some data currently. Let's go check some 12-hour precipitation rates at this time. Kim, that is correct. That means Enumclaw and Buckley are expecting no big wind gusts. At this point, we're not really expecting any wind gusts, but we'll be watching the change of track of this very closely. But right now, all indications show that this system will be making landfall somewhere here along the northern Oregon coast. This is what the European shows, and it's been showing rather erratic changes over the last few days, like bringing the system as far north as North Vancouver Island and as far south as the southern Oregon coast. But it looks like it's kind of honed in here for the North Oregon coast. And actually, this most recent European doesn't even have the low surviving, like up to the point of landfall. It actually has it disintegrating extremely quick off the coast, like not even making landfall along the coast. But it does sort of bring a strong warm front through, and then the cold front doesn't really make it into the area. So that will help sort of bring down the wind a bit as well. And then we go pretty calm, except maybe a little passing disturbance this weekend. But outside of that, and then at the end of this run, it goes all the way to 10 a.m. on Monday. It has a little disturbance clipping us, but not too much to worry about with that. She said, thanks and great. Yeah, this is what it's showing for winds right now. You notice it keeps any of the stronger winds directly off the coast. You look at just how quickly these are in 6-hour intervals. So watch, it goes from something to nothing in about 24 hours. Has a little bit of a breeze up here in the Puget Sound. Maybe some spots getting over 20 miles per hour, but nowhere even close to what it was showing previously. Even showing a little bit of east wind after that as well, but it shouldn't extend very far and not looking too strong at the moment. That would be early Saturday morning, but once again, it's not showing any more than 36 miles per hour, and even then, that doesn't reach Enumclaw in this model. It doesn't really reach any of the foothill spots. Looks like it hit a wall, yes. These systems are usually pretty tricky to forecast because, you know, if they stay together long enough before collapsing in on themselves, they can bring some wind. But model guidance has been suggestive of this not really making it that far inland before the low fills in and balances out with the pressure gradient all around it. So basically, just a little meteorology 101 here. Wind is caused by pressure gradients. So the closer the white bars are together when I go to precipitation type and rate, closer these are, in effect, the stronger the wind is going to be. But when you don't have any of those lines together, like when they disappear like this, you have very little, if any, wind at all. Sandy Lynn Q. Wood on Facebook. I live in Olalla. I miss a lot of the bad weather because of the Olympic Mountains. That is the truth, but you didn't miss out on the bad weather in 2018. I know your area up there got that tornado back in December 2018. That was to the north of you, but still, you can get bad weather from time to time. It's just the Olympics really help your case for sure. And William Gatlin, thank you for the donation of 50 stars. Much appreciated. If you guys would like to help support Puget Sound Stormwatch and keep us at full time, please consider donating packs of stars here on Facebook. You guys can also donate coffees as well, if you guys would like a link to that. Yeah, thank you, William, for your donation of 50 stars. He said, I signed on to your live at the perfect time as you were talking about Enumclaw. Glad to hear we won't get much over the holiday. Yeah, things are looking pretty calm for the most part over the holiday. The heaviest rain right now is going to be what we already experienced today, but could bring in some more rain Thursday as well with that next system. So these are some 12-hour precipitation amounts. Anywhere between a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch along the coast. Again, rain shadow area, showing off how notorious it is for that rain shadow. Only a few hundredths of an inch, and some areas just barely measurable, like Diamond Point, Port Townsend, and Blinn area. It might be Blind. Feel free to correct me if I butchered that. I think it's Blinn though, but yeah. Squim area, Jamestown, Dungeness Spit, not too much compared to the rest of the area. If you head up into the mountains here, this is total precipitation, so this is also counting snow. But it doesn't always count the snow until after it starts to melt too, so just be advised of that. So up here at Stevens Pass, showing around 0.62 to 0.63 inches of total precipitation. This is counting that melted snow. You know, it's going to take a while for that snow to melt, so these numbers aren't always going to be accurate up here. But down along the I-5 corridor, you can see the microclimates here in action. It's around 0.6 up here in the hills of Skagit County. 0.7 a little bit north here in Whatcom County, and then significantly less as you start getting into the hills here near Mount Baker. Down in the lowlands here, anywhere between 1/4 to a ½ inch right now here in Whatcom County, and then around the ½ inch here in the Mount Vernon Burlington area, a little bit more over Fidalgo Island, and not too much over Whidbey Island, once again due to that rain shadow effect. And then less as you get down into the Seattle area, but some areas did get around 1/4 inch today. And then some more as you go down towards Olympia. Okay, some areas in the Black Hills here got well over a ½ inch today. And then quite a bit of discrepancy in close range here. This can depend on many factors, such as weather stations being improperly installed, or some areas being, for example, underneath an area that collects rainwater faster than others, like underneath a tree or a roof line as well. That can help skew the result a little bit. But the overall consensus, and I can shrink this down a little bit so that it's not as cluttered. But the overall consensus is, other than a few of these little spots here and there, we've had between 0.1 and 0.7 inches across much of the I-5 corridor here in the Puget Sound. Oh, pulled up the perfect screen at the perfect time. Thank you for all 129 coffees, everyone, 42 supporters. If you guys would like to donate a coffee to help Puget Sound Stormwatch, all proceeds go towards keeping us at full-time status. So I'll just post that link real quick for you guys. And one little quick announcement before we head back to the weather. This is the Puget Sound Stormwatch store. I will be launching several new designs for Black Friday. Now, if you're a subscriber on Facebook and follow the PSSW Superfan subgroup, I posted the teasers for the new designs today that are coming out on Friday. If you guys are interested in looking at that, do feel free to do so. Once again, all proceeds go back towards helping the channel and the brand. Now, I want to see if I can pull up any Snoqualmie webcams to see what they're seeing up there. I know Snoqualmie's got a few live streams going at the moment. Just got to be careful to make sure I don't show too much of it, because the last thing I need is a cease and desist from these guys. So yeah, these are some of the Snoqualmie live webcams at the moment. See some snow still coming down. I think this is just probably a vent running on one of the roofs, but a little bit of a breeze up there. Nothing too bad though. You can still see the snow falling pretty clearly here in the Silver Fir Express area. Quite a bit of snow starting to build up there, a few inches by the looks of it. Nothing too crazy at the moment, and not seeing any ice yet, which is great news. If it stays snow, we'd be better off for sure compared to ice accumulation, which currently does not appear to be the case. And once again, just an overall look at what's going on around the area right now. This little 1002 millibar low pressure center near Haida Gwaii is what ushered in the atmospheric river today. For those of you questioning it, yes, that is a scientific term. I believe they started using it back in 1980, if I'm not mistaken. If anyone knows the exact date, do feel free to correct me. But this ushered in the atmospheric river, and then the warm front from this next system moves in. We get a little bit of a break between those two tomorrow. So this atmospheric river slides out of the area. The moisture dries out. Have one little secondary round of... Ooh, I just got an update from Benjamin Yurkovich, Washington Weather Chasers. He has 700 people watching his snow stream right now. I would show that, but due to, just, out of respect for Ben, I'm not going to cross-post his YouTube stream here, because that would be stealing some of the profits from him, and I'm not going to do that. I respect Ben too much to do that. But if you guys want to watch his snow stream, go on to Washington Weather Chasers on YouTube. He is streaming that right now. But we're going to be watching this system as it comes in and see exactly where it makes landfall and at what strength. But right now, once again, in case you missed it before, the models have a pretty good grasp on where and just how strong this system is going to make landfall. The European actually doesn't have it surviving the coastline. As Keith on YouTube said, it runs into a brick wall, quite literally. There's a pressure gradient, and then the gradient's gone in a matter of hours. Just like that. Then the GFS, the 0Z should start rendering in the next hour or so, but GFS has something similar. GFS is a little bit farther north than the European. That's towards Cape Disappointment, but has it holding on at around 1014 millibars right now before it hits the coast and begins to collapse in on itself. This wouldn't translate again to anything stronger than the breeze around the Puget Sound. It would have the strongest winds staying mainly along the Oregon coast, and even then, still not looking like anything more than 45 miles per hour along the Oregon coast. Maybe anywhere between 20 to 30 here along the Washington coast, but again, not particularly impressive. Keith Capolero, thank you for looking that up for me. The term atmospheric river was coined in 1994 by researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. Appreciate the clarification on that. Thank you. Now, another valuable tool that forecasters use is called the ensemble forecast. So the European, as shown here, has 50 different members. That's what all of these little labels are right here. There's 50 different members with slightly tweaked initial parameters. So it usually always comes out to a different sort of forecast. These are combined together and averaged down into one mean. That's why they call it the ensemble mean forecast. So this is for mean sea level pressure, or just overall average sea level pressure, or the measure of these surface lows here. Now it has the average sea level pressure of this low at around 10-12 millibars west of Cape Disappointment, moving just barely onto the North Oregon coast before it starts to disintegrate. You notice some of these numbers also extend a bit farther north and south of the favorable contour here as well. Once again, not looking too overly impressive. I'm not seeing anything much lower than 1005 millibars, and even then that would be too far away to cause any significant impacts. So looking like just a breezy rainy day for Thanksgiving around western Washington and the majority of western Oregon as well. Thank you guys for 30 likes on Facebook, much appreciated. YouTube's kind of hanging on by a thread here. We had 10 viewers at one point, but I think Ben's taking all the viewers right now. Don't worry, no offense, Ben. So that's the European ensemble. Excuse me. The AI forecast system ensemble almost dead on with what the European's showing. Right around the same. So a good agreement between the AI version of the European and the traditional European. Now the GEFS is the American ensemble. And see, it's running a little different here. It's starting to pull the system a little bit farther north, but still not particularly impressive when it comes to a pressure gradient. And a lot of these averages, luckily, are within this first contour here. So overall, pretty good precision with the 30 GEFS ensemble members. And lowest pressure I'm seeing right now is 1,007 millibars, which is not impressive again. So really good model agreement now that we're within 48 hours of this so-called event, if you even want to call it that. These are average wind gusts. Barely anything around here. So the NAM is fully initialized now. See what it shows for precipitation amounts around the area. Let's go to 6 hour to get a little more accurate representation. It doesn't. Debbie Lamb on Facebook says, thank you for tuning in, Debbie, much appreciated. So yeah, these are 6 hour precip amounts. Shows the heaviest off into the foothills and areas of the Olympics near Mason, Grace Harbor, and Jefferson counties. About a ½ inch of precipitation. This could be in the form of snow or rain in a 6 hour range between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Thursday. But during dinner time, it actually shows things drying out a bit more around the Puget Sound area. It has most of this rain over the Olympics south of the area, mainly south of Lewis County or north of Skagit County here, including Bellingham, which Bellingham could get a little over a ¼ inch of rainfall between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on Thanksgiving. And then we start to dry out after that, and then we're dry by the end of this run. So not looking exceptionally wet on Thursday, but it'll definitely wet the ground quite a bit. It shouldn't be too hazardous to drive in because most of the people should already have their driving out of the way by the time this system moves on through. Just out of curiosity, let's see what the Canadian regional is showing. Again, nothing too particularly impressive. Starts to take that little southward, southeastward bobble there right off the coast. It's a little stronger than what the other models are showing, but I don't always trust what this model run has to show. So yeah, showing the right now the estimated center of low pressure is at 1,006 millibars off the coast. Keith says, great day to play flag football. Yeah, especially on the open field, right? Kristen Stanford on Facebook, any travel concerns for Saturday? That is a wonderful question. We can take a look at that right now. I believe we started to dry out Saturday. And yeah, we should stay mostly dry on Saturday. You know, we have a little weak system clipping us, but that will stay west of the passes. Maybe a little snow here at White Pass, but not expecting any more additional precipitation over Snoqualmie and Stevens passes. Like, we may get a little bit Monday afternoon as well, but not looking like we get too much precipitation after Thursday around the area. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the rain today, and we'll enjoy it on Thursday, because after that, Most likely doesn't rain again around the area for the rest of the month of November. Every year on Thanksgiving morning, I play flag football. Perfect tradition. Yeah, so on this European run, it only goes out to 144 hours, but we can go back to the previous run, and it allows you to go a little bit further in the time. And it has the rain around the area, once again pretty isolated in nature, but holding off until Tuesday morning. So Monday around this area, especially the central Puget Sound region here, looks pretty dry. Just to answer your question, Debbie. Looks like Benjamin's about to do the snow angel in this stream, and he has about 700 people or so watching. I can only wish. You know, a lot of people would rather watch a storm chase than watch a guy talk about commentary on this. But this is a little preview at what we could see as well, too, in the beginning of December. It doesn't have any real strong signature systems after Thursday, but we will have to watch the second week of December. The first week, the end of the first week into the weekend originally was looking pretty active, but now it looks like that is not going to be the case anymore. But this is normal since we're over 10 days out into the extended forecast here, so these flips back and forth are to be expected. So don't always take what you see here seriously. It does show a frontal system coming through on the afternoon of Monday the 8th, and then another stronger one the morning after. These could pose some wind risks around the area, so we'll have to watch those very closely. But right now, current indications are nothing more than a little blustery day around the area. Up here in the foothills, maybe a little bit windier, but towards the Puget Sound, not looking particularly impressive right now. Once again, a very long range forecast. Take it with a grain of salt, if that. All right, Willow, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, a couple frontal systems we'll be watching in December, but other than that, not looking super active anymore. William says, well, you've got between 6 to 10 live watchers right now. I've noticed that during the really large predicted storm events, you have a large amount of live stream followers. Never fear, those who are loyal followers of your work appreciate what you do. Very well said, William. I had my most successful live stream of all time, actually a month ago today, now that I think about it. A month ago today, we had that pretty strong windstorm around the area. Yeah, I bet a lot of you remember that, how we had the winds earlier in the day before the windstorm that knocked out power, and then the stronger winds came in and knocked out even more power that day. All right, Debbie, have a great night. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Take care. Thank you again for tuning in. Yeah, I also wasn't doing the simulcast back then. I only started doing the simulcast a few days ago. Huge shout out again to Benjamin Yurkovich for giving me some pointers on that. So yeah, 32 likes on Facebook, 8 likes on YouTube now. The goal is to try to start building even more watch hours on YouTube. Kim says, thank you for looking out for us and answering our questions. Absolutely, that's why I'm here. Thank you again for tuning in. Keith says, let's see if we get the Fraser River outflow next week. Yeah, I don't know if you were around when I was showing this, Keith, but the Fraser River outflow is showing up pretty good here on the high-res models now. See, textbook Fraser River outflow up here. And this NAM model, which sometimes does overdo wind gusts, so just have to say that little disclaimer. It has wind gusts around the 30 mile per hour range southwest of the Fraser River Valley up here in Canada, including parts of the San Juan Islands. This is all the way out at 1 p.m. Thanksgiving. Not damaging right now, though. It doesn't look particularly damaging. This is being drawn out through that valley because of the southeastward motion of this trough off the coast. So the winds are always counterclockwise. So since they're moving it this way, it's going to draw the pressure gradient through the Fraser River Valley and activate those outflow winds. Kristen says, thank you. Glad I caught some of the live stream. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you again, Kristen, for tuning in and being a subscriber. That reminds me too. I think I can run a promo on half off subscriptions here on Facebook as well. Let me see if I'm still able to do that, because if so, I'll activate that for Black Friday. In case any of you weren't on here when I said it, I am launching quite a few new Black Friday merch designs on my store. So I posted the link above in the YouTube and Facebook comments if you guys are able to access those. Otherwise, I have the link to my store pinned on my Facebook page as well, and also in the description of my YouTube live stream. Currently have 5 designs, but I'm looking to double that to 10 by the start of the Black Friday sale. Right now, it's looking like the sale that Spreadshop is going to give me is 30% off orders of $70 or more. William Gatlin says, personally, I usually follow your YouTube live events, but noticed you were simulcasting on Facebook tonight, so here we are. Appreciate you for tuning in. And thank you again for your donation, William. Seattle Wall Siren says, I just got all my radios set up again after getting some new shelves put in. Awesome sauce. Yeah, just like me, Willow, aka Seattle Wall Sirens in the YouTube chat, is a weather radio collector. I currently have 23 NOAA weather radios in my collection. Sounds like a lot, yes, but it's one of my hobbies to collect those, especially vintage ones. So yeah, let's go take a look back again. See if the pressures change on this system. Still hanging around 1006 millibars, but it's starting to develop these cyclone characteristics off the coast. So models right now are showing this thing deepening to around the 1005, 1006 millibar range off the coast. And then it starts to weaken as it approaches. This is the most current. Is it the most current? No, it's 2 runs ago. Okay. This is the most current run of the high-resolution NAM ConUS, aka the NAM 3KM high-res model. Brings it a little bit farther north than some of the models are showing, but that doesn't add to any of the concern right now, because it's still going to be a relatively weak system once it makes landfall. At around 1009 to 1010 millibars, somewhere around the Grays Harbor bar right now. It's bouncing around between Grays Harbor and, let's say, Rockaway Beach right now. So a little bit of discrepancy on the track, but 80% of weather models have honed in on an exact track somewhere down into northern Oregon, and still has a rapidly weakening low. So we're not expecting any crazy anomalies with this. However, there's always a little chance that it could outperform what the models are showing, although highly unlikely at this point. It's mainly looking more like a heavy precip over the lowland and heavy snow over the mountain kind of ordeal, something that we're typically used to this time of the year. Yes, Willow, those are great radios to add to your collection for sure. Go look again at some Snoqualmie live cameras. Still snowing pretty good at the Central Express Summit. Snow's definitely starting to back off up at the passes right now, so let's go get another radar check real quick. Yeah, so it looks like the break's over for Tacoma southward. Some of these little heavier blips are moving in. But the steady heavy rain is well out of the area now. And see Snoqualmie Pass clearly drying out here at the moment. Nothing super intense, just expect the rain to pick up again, mainly south of SeaTac. Some of this could make it up into Seattle. It's going to be very hit or miss in nature compared to what we just had earlier this afternoon. See, we're gusting up to 25 out of the southwest here at Olympia Regional right now. Cheryl Marie, welcome back. Good evening to you. Your 12-262 is going to need to be tuner swapped. Yeah, eventually when I get to it, I'll have to tuner swap my 12-382 to keep it in the commission. Did not know you had to tuner swap your 12-259 as well. So yeah, for those tuning in who may have missed it, Anthony here with Puget Sound Stormwatch. We're tracking all things snow, rain, and wind happening right now and coming up. So areas of moderate rain coming into the Tacoma metro area right now out of the west, but nothing particularly concerning right now. Still snowing pretty good around Stevens Pass, but directly over the pass, it looks like there's a little lull in the precipitation right now. And starting to dry out pretty good here at Snoqualmie Pass as well. Any precipitation, by the looks of it, falling down at White Pass is either in the form of a mix or light rain at this time. Saw a couple hearts come in. Thank you guys for liking the stream. Looks like we're at 9 likes on YouTube now, and we're still at 32 on Facebook. Appreciate you guys tuning in for some live commentary. Thank you all so much. You know, the goal is to try and build more watch hours to gain some monetization benefits on YouTube. And I've got some ideas of topics I would like to talk about in daily live briefings when I eventually do start those up again. Just right now, the struggle is mainly just motivation. You know, because the truth is, to keep doing this full time, I'm going to need a lot of help from you guys. A lot of help. Some heavier echoes moving over Highway 9 between Skagit and Whatcom counties right now. A little moderate rain about the Cross I-5 south of Bellingham. But outside of that, the heaviest precip north of Seattle should be done for the evening. These are moving off into the foothills right now, where eventually they could fall in the form of snow. So yeah, South Sound, the second round of rain is coming in now, and I think I can hear it picking up outside at the moment. Right here in the Milton area, right underneath this large isolated radar echo right there. So a few brief periods of moderate to heavy rain possible, but then once the back end of this thing comes in, it's going to dry out for the night. And we'll get a little break before the warm front comes in Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Which will also drive up the snow level for a little bit. Starting to get a little toasty in here with the heat, so I'm going to go ahead and take the coat off. Be right back, everyone. All right, everyone, thank you for your patience. Yeah, starting to slow down up here at Snoqualmie Pass. Let's go switch this to 24-hour precipitation. The general overall consensus is along the I-5 corridor between 0.1 inches of rain and 0.7 inches of rain for the most part. So a lower end atmospheric river, but by definition, yes, that was an atmospheric river that moved through today. I'm starting to see a lot of the ignorant comments show up again on a lot of my posts saying it's just rain. The truth is, there's a science behind it. There is 100% a science behind it, and I'm going to use the science either way. I'm going to say it for what it is. Just checking to see if there's any new products from the NWS here. So we do have a hydrologic outlook here for Mason County for anyone who's interested. This is from the National Weather Service in Seattle, Washington, issued at 10:50 a.m. this morning. The threat of river flooding Thursday morning through Thursday night for Mason County. It says a stronger and longer lasting weather system moving into western Washington today will support continued precipitation through Thursday. Forecast storm total precip is 2.5 to 4 inches for the Olympics, but there does remain uncertainty among forecast models. So snow levels will rise between 5,500 to 6,500 feet by late Wednesday as that warm front starts to move north over the area. Luckily, it says soil moisture is normal for this time of the year as well. Actually, scratch that. Let me read it for what it is. Soil moisture is at normal midwinter saturation levels. So a little bit early in the game for this is what it's saying. So that's where the threat of river flooding along the Skokomish comes from. All of this points to the potential for flooding on the Skokomish River in Mason County by early Thursday. Current forecasts indicate a crest on the Skokomish right around flood stage. So definitely into action stage. And let me see if I can pull up the Skokomish River monitor here as well. Go check the gauge. I gotta make sure I have the right site here. Bear with me. There we go. The current observation is 14.46 feet, so we're still a little over 6 inches below action stage at the time with the rain today. Then we start to go into action stage early tomorrow morning. We just crossed that 15-foot marker. We bounce around action stage. Then it looks like we hit a crest at around 16.04 feet right now at 10 p.m. on Thanksgiving. So not quite to minor flood stage, but close to it. And then it's a downward trend from that point on as the weather once again goes stoic into the first week of December. So this is just the current outlook for the Skokomish River near Potlatch, Washington. Low pressure systems hanging in around 1,006 millibars according to the European forecast right now. I was hoping to see the GFS start to render, but looks like that's not going to happen for a little bit. I want to see if the 0Z HER starts to show anything here. Looks like we do kind of have a grasp of where this system's going to land according to the HER 3KM high-res model. It has a more due east track towards Long Beach compared to the other models right now. But once again, not too impressive. 1010 millibars is not impressive by any means. And that pressure gradient is pretty wide, so not looking overall impressive around the area. If we were to translate this over to wind gusts at around 33 feet above ground level, you notice it does bring some wind to the Oregon coast, up to 45 miles per hour, maybe higher in some isolated spots, but not too much along the Washington coast. See, here's the cold front right here. And when that cold front comes in, that's when you're going to get the strongest winds along the coast. But even then, no more than maybe 35 miles per hour along most of the coast. So not too impressive. Just normal for this time of the year. Brings a little bit of a breeze up in the Salish Sea area, but really for the Puget Sound, anemic. All right, we just hit 10 likes on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. I'm probably going to stream until 8 o'clock and then start to wind things down. I know I've got some plans tomorrow. My dog's going to be going to the vet, so I got to go watch the other dogs. I'll be busy doing that for a while, so not expecting a live stream tomorrow. At least right now. Wasn't even expecting a live stream today, really, but I made it happen. And here we are now. And look at precip on this model right now. Shows a few more tenths of an inch of rain falling down here in Tacoma. Most likely we're going to see that with this little blob of precip coming in right now. And some of this could make it up to Seattle too. Now, by the looks of it, on the current nowcasting radar. Still some heavier radar echoes up towards the foothills of King County. Mainly northeast of Redmond right now, but the heaviest of showers should have already moved off towards the foothills. Some of this rain crossing Highway 169 between Black Diamond and Enumclaw right now. And also some rain crossing Highway 167. Kim Leonard on Facebook says, thanks for the stream. Yes, thank you again for tuning in. Sonia on YouTube says, hope your dog will be okay. I believe he should be. He's got a lot of hot spots and open sores, which could be related to mites. Maybe fleas, ticks. We don't know for sure. That's why we're going to go take my dog to get checked out tomorrow afternoon. Definitely hoping for some good news because he's a senior dog now. He just turned 10 back in July. Mixed breed Siberian Husky and Red Wolf. So definitely getting up there in age. Yeah, the HER model shows about another 0.3 or so inches falling south of Tacoma through Thanksgiving. At least through 4 p.m. on Thanksgiving when that warm front comes in. So more along the coast, of course. It has areas up to 2 inches and higher along the coast of Grays Harbor County. And higher over Pacific and Wahkiakum counties as well. But once again, spot the rain shadow here. Only seeing a little over 1/10 of an inch for Port Townsend, Diamond Point, and parts of Whidbey Island. Keith says, we just hit 1/2 inch of rain up here. Thank you, Keith, for your report. See, we got a few more viewers here on YouTube now. Thank you. But someone wants to send me a message. All right. Yeah, William Gatlin, if you're still watching, I got your message on my personal Facebook. Unfortunately, if I haven't met you in person, I don't accept Facebook friend requests. So very sorry about that. I keep my Facebook friends exclusively family or friends who I have met in real life. So my apologies for that. All right, that Tablet Doe Wow 2937 on YouTube. Hello from Oak Harbor. Hello from Milton. Sonia will be right back after she puts the tablet on the charger for a little bit. Sounds good. William says, no worries, maybe one day. Yeah, thank you for understanding. It's just, it's just a rule that I like to follow. I only add people back on Facebook if they're immediate family, extended family, or if I've met them in real life. So, yeah, thank you for understanding. Maybe one day, yes. Anytime now that 0ZGFS should start rendering. Let's go. I can look at this. Positions change, still at 1006 millibars right now as it gets closer. I get a radar update real quick. A few spots of moderate rainfall coming in. There's some moderate rainfall coming into Allen and Belfair right now along the southern end of the Hood Canal, and some showers also coming into Seattle at this time. Nothing close to significant, though. A little bit breezy, possibly, as well. So it's gusting to 25 out of the southwest at Olympia. So a little bit breezy, but nothing out of the ordinary for this time of the year. Taking a big gulp out of my gallon jug. I've been talking for a while without drinking water. It's a bad habit of mine. Does anyone have any additional questions they'd like to ask or anything they'd like to bring up to my attention? Yeah, Ben actually did a snow angel up at Stevens Pass. Yeah, I think I'm going to lean towards doing live streams more often. Like, more often than I already do, because we're really trying to build that watch time as quick as possible. That way we can start talking about super chats and channel memberships, which several of you have actually requested the channel memberships feature. Wasn't sure if I wanted to do it at first, but it looks like you guys have asked, and I will fulfill. Okay, Joanne Miner on Facebook, thank you for sharing the stream. Do appreciate it. Probably going to live stream for another 20 to 25 minutes or so. How far in advance do you generally predict weather? Christmas Eve day, when will you have a general idea what the days will look like? Yeah, that's way off into the extended, so it's going to be way too soon to tell you. The data there is too far and few to really go in depth. We can use NOAA climatological models, and I'll pull those up real quick. Let me see if I can pull up the right one here. The Climate Prediction Center division of NOAA. So I'll pull this little map up for you guys. This was issued on November 20th. And this is valid for the month of December. So this is the temperature outlook. A lot of the areas are leaning towards below normal, but areas Tacoma South can flip either way, as seen there. And for precipitation, all of Western Washington is once again leaning either way too. So quite a bit of uncertainty when it comes to the monthly forecasts here. There was another Outlook map I wanted to pull up. It was the 6 to 10 day, but yeah, there we go. Couple more comments coming in. So I usually do short-term predictions to answer your question. I usually only go a few days out on the main page for my subscribers tab and also my my premium Patreon tab, because I do have Patreon as well. I do go a little bit farther into the future, usually about 2 weeks or so, to really show some what I call fantasy model runs. So it's just to get an idea of what could happen, even though it's extremely unlikely to happen. So I've been talking about the first and second week of December on that premium tab right now. And I see several of my subscribers popping in from time to time, like Kristen Stanford, for example. Sometimes I see a few of them, like I saw a few of them yesterday as well, but I've been talking to them personally about the upcoming forecast in December and how so far it looks pretty active to start December, but now it's not quite looking that way until the second week of December. There's just a lot of wild cards and variables to talk about. So see, the next 6 to 10 days, this was issued today. So the first week of December, other than along the Washington coast, we're looking at near normal temperatures. And other than the southwest Washington coast here, we're looking at near normal precipitation as well. So leaning more towards average when it comes to temperature and precipitation over the next few days. Wondering if Yelm will get snow. Not looking like it anytime soon, Joanne. All right, Mark 12 SA on YouTube. What is the next storm wind going to be? Are you asking when the next windstorm is going to be? Because it's looking like right now it probably won't be till the second week of December. Even then, it's really up in the air at this point. Keith's talking about the pressure fall over the Great Lakes region. And yeah, talking about effects on the human body as well. I've heard a few people around here talk about how they've been feeling the pressure fall when this atmospheric river moved in. Especially in yesterday's stream and a couple of posts from before, people talking about how their bodies are aching from the changes in barometric pressure. You know, the truth is, to a lot of people, their own body is a barometer. It can feel these sudden swings in pressure quite easily, especially if you're a little bit on the older side. No offense. And then William says, oh, were you able to set up a Black Friday promo for Facebook subscribers to this page? Haven't seen how to do that yet, but I will definitely look into it. So right now, the price is 99 cents on Facebook. That's the lowest it can go. But I did see one time that there was an option to set it down to 49 cents a month for the first 5 people that subscribe to Puget Sound Stormwatch. I will look into that for sure, but no guarantees I can get that active. It may have been a very limited time. I know for sure I'm going to be launching several new designs on the Stormwatch store. We'll go over that one more time as well. This is my Patreon right here. If you're on Facebook as a subscriber, which is actually half the price of this, because the Patreon price is $1.99 per month, but the Facebook price is 99 cents per month. All of my posts from Facebook are cross-posted over here, including the ones on the premium subscriber tab as well. William says, I'll just subscribe, not worried about 50 cents. Thank you very much for your support, William. Much appreciated. This is the Stormwatch store. I have the link in the description of the YouTube stream, and I also have this pinned to the wall on the highlight section of my Facebook page. Currently have 5 designs right now, but I'm going to be releasing at least 5 more on Friday for Black Friday shopping. So if you guys are interested, there should also be links in the comments as well if you scroll up a little bit. Let me know if you need links to that. All right, just got the notification. Thank you, William Gatlin, for becoming a new subscriber on Facebook. Joanne says, I'm glad, really don't want it. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Joanne. Is this next storm a bigger one than today? If you're talking about, we can take a quick preview of this as well. Okay, 0Z just started rendering, so that's perfect. But we have to go back to the 12Z Euro to really show some of this activity around here. So this is the Thanksgiving little system. Just a little blip compared to some of the stronger windstorms we get from time to time. And then we get to watch some of these frontal systems come through, but the center of low pressure looks to be well off to our northwest. So it still doesn't look like any major wind concerns coming up, even in December. See, a couple of fronts coming through here. But this doesn't translate much to wind gusts around the area. Over the open waters, yeah, it could get 45 to 50 miles per hour, maybe higher in some spots. But this is going to change 100%, so let's not lock this in. We're still far from a lock on any of this. This is all the way out to December 9th. And it gets a little breezy around this area, but once again, this most likely will not happen, at least as is shown here. There's about a 99% chance it's going to change. You know, I don't think I've seen a single weather model out to 2 weeks that has stayed the same over the 2-week period. I meant rain, okay. Yeah, sorry about the misunderstanding. But, yeah, when it comes to rain, like we just got to get through today. The back end of that comes out. We dry out tomorrow for a bit, and then that warm front comes in late tomorrow night and early Thanksgiving morning. And then the cold front slides through, gives us a little more rain, not too much. Then it's just weak systems clipping us into the first week of December. See a little weak system there as well on the 2nd, very possible. Then possibility we may have the stronger system looking like a weak atmospheric river maybe hanging up over Vancouver Island, but it doesn't look like it'll bring much rain south of Skagit County in that setup. So in terms of heavy rain, it looks like we'll have to wait till the 2nd week of December to see any more heavy rain. And we watch these frontal systems come through. That would be pretty heavy rain the morning of December 9th if that were to stick around, but most likely that's not going to stick around. And let's zoom out and look at the upper level forecast to see what it's showing. Let's go look at 500 millibar height anomaly. So today's system is this trough and associated front kind of undercutting this weak ridge right here, the orange contour. And then the ridge reestablishes tomorrow a bit. This is going to give us a little period of tranquil weather. Yeah, quite a bit going on over Lake Erie, says Keith Capolera on YouTube. Yeah, lucky we are not near Lake Erie. Wind gusts will be 50 to 60. Water level may reach 12 feet. So yeah, this is that little weak system coming in on Thanksgiving. See, it's just a little blip compared to all of the stronger systems way out here, including this deep trough over the Great Lakes as Keith was talking about. Then the ridge may try to reestablish itself, but depending on what happens in this time frame, this is the time frame originally where they were talking about some snow. Looks like the ridge is too far to the east, and therefore the jet stream is not in a favorable position to bring any of this Arctic air in. It actually has that ridge kind of moving over the area, so, and then a really strong ridge over the area. Like this is way out in the forecast, so it's most likely not going to play out like this, but could be close enough to bring a weather system in. This is the frontal system they were showing for the 9th and 10th right there. But overall, the current forecast, at least courtesy of the last full run of the European, the 12Z, which was 4 a.m. this morning, actually shows some pretty stable weather over the next 2 weeks or so, outside of a couple frontal systems coming through. It's really impressive for this time of the year. Like, we just usually don't see this calm pattern this late in November and going into early December. You know, it has happened in the past, and it will happen again. But this soon is pretty interesting, considering we're leaning towards a weak La Nina right now, down here in the Nino 3.4 region is what they call it. I think we're about a half a degree, I like to say it's Celsius, below normal for the Nino 3.4 region down here in the Southeast Pacific, which constitutes as a weak La Nina by definition. I think we're between 0.5 and 0.7 degrees below average, but it's looking like it's going to go more towards a neutral pattern as we go later on in the winter. Now, normally that means cooler and wetter than normal up here, but obviously so far it's just not coming to fruition by any means. Temperature anomalies at 5,000 feet. You see, we're just staying way warmer than average up here according to this model. So really, really not great for snow the first over the next couple of weeks. It's actually kind of disappointing because some of the models originally were showing this cold pool really filling up here over southern BC and Alberta. And we just need a little kick for it to come in from the north and give us Arctic air, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. At least that's what the European model is showing. Now, the GFS, of course, is different, the American, but this doesn't always work out in our favor. The European usually beats the brakes off of the American model, as we've seen, but the American model has had its wins before in the past. Even the GFS model doesn't show the cold air in a favorable spot to bring Arctic air in. This is not looking really sufficient for snow chances coming up. Other than a couple slightly below normal days, it looks like we stay at or above normal over the next 2 weeks for most of western Washington. At 5,000 feet, I gotta say, at 5,000 feet, so at around pass level. Looks like we're getting close enough in range of the GFS to see what it wants to show for this next system. Let's compare this to the last one. It's around the same position-wise, but a millibar deeper, so that doesn't make much of a difference. So it looks like we can confidently say now that there will be very little wind around the Puget Sound area and most of the Washington coast on Thanksgiving. Which, of course, is part of the normal downtrend we normally see with these models. It's just, it's disappointing when it happens so close to the event. When, you know, you put the initial postings out, which I did before. But I've had to word these a lot more carefully in the future, too. Just to avoid some run-ins with a lot of people. Okay, William Gatlin, have a great night. Probably won't be live again before Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you again for becoming a sub. I can assure you won't be disappointed. Okay, 37 likes on Facebook. Still hanging on at 10 likes on YouTube. Alrighty then. Viewership's bouncing around a little bit, but not doing as good as last night's stream. And that's perfectly okay. No complaints there. But I'm reluctant to see if the GFS actually has the low deepen that much. Because right now, it's not looking like it's going to. It's around the 1,006 millibars right now off the coast here. Moving up towards the northeast, but should eventually bend more towards the due east or a little bit to the southeast once it gets a couple hundred miles off the coast here. So not expecting any erratic movements from this low pressure system, which is good news for forecast stability. Oh, I see Whatcom County weather is also in here 15 minutes ago. Sorry I missed you, Randy and team. If you guys are still watching, hello from Milton. See if Ben's still live right now. Looks like he is. He has 1,000 people watching. Wow, his stream is going absolutely berserk right now. I could only wish. Guess I gotta go on more storm chases to really get that audience up, but my vehicle needs a lot of work before I do that. If it happens locally... Oh, he's all the way in Leavenworth. No, actually... No, he's not. He's still at Stevens Pass. He just made a post a minute ago on his Facebook page, Washington Weather Chasers. And he said credit goes to visit Leavenworth for the shot. Yeah, I'd like to go back up to the pass one day, but my vehicle needs expensive repairs, and it's just out of the budget right now. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I need a lot of help. Is Randy on Facebook Live? He's not live right now. He may be viewing the stream, though. I know 15 minutes ago he was viewing. 17 now. There's actually only there's 2 viewers, and it just went down to 1. So I guess the Facebook stream's basically dead now. YouTube, we still got 6 people in here, so we're doing right around the average on there. It's crazy. A month ago today when I was streaming, I did the 8.5 hour long stream, and I had a max of over 400 viewers at one time. That's the only time that's ever happened. Since then, my average has only been between 5 and 15 viewers at one time. Needless to say, I've got a lot of work to do in that aspect. We might do a live stream tonight. Yeah, he's been doing the live streams after I've kind of gone and, kind of headed out to sleep. It looks like he had a live stream last night, too. I'll have to watch over that again. But overall, I have a lot of work to do. Until we get monetization features on here. Yeah, if he does a live stream tonight, I may not be awake at the time to watch it. I may tune in if I am still kind of winding down if he streams before 9 o'clock. So, Keith, if you're on there, I may see you on there if he does go live. We will see. All right, a few more viewers hopping in on Facebook. Definitely feels good to see the Facebook counter going up again too. It's been really bouncing around pretty steady in the 32,100 to 32,200 mark, but it got up over 32,300 today. So good to see a little more growth. It's not too much, but a lot of the growth recently came from that storm a month ago. But since then, it's been pretty much stagnant for growth. Like, there were actually a couple days where I might have had net losses for followers. Just really need the active weather to ramp up. Of course, not damaging, but just active enough to where I can actually report on something, if you know what I mean. Keith says he will be on that live stream if he does stream. Awesome sauce. All right, folks, going to open up this time to any last minute questions, if you guys have them. So we're going to start wrapping things up. It's just about to turn 8 o'clock. Looks like most of the viewers have already left also. Sonia, welcome back. Yeah, I think Ben's taking all the viewers. He has over 1,000 people watching his stream up at Stevens Pass right now. Ooh. Looks like Ashley Gets or Ashley Jets just subscribed. Thank you so much if you're watching the stream right now. Thank you for becoming a PSSW Facebook subscriber. Very much appreciated. That's 2 new subs tonight during the stream. Yeah, Sonia said, thank you everyone for joining us again tonight. Not much left to talk about. Most of the active weather has already moved out of the area for today. Let me just refresh Radar Scope real quick. Okay, Ashley is on here. She said, no questions, just big appreciation for you and everything that you do. Thank you so much for the kind words, Ashley. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Yeah, the Radar Scope app is still a little bit buggy, so it's going to take a little bit to refresh, probably. No, we may just have to go over to Windy to see the current radar. So still some scattered showers out there at the moment. Some scattered showers up here, Seattle, up towards Everett, but the heaviest should be done for the night. So it's really just hit or miss showers around the South Sound and the Central Sound, but the heaviest is already moving up into the foothills at this time. So it doesn't pose much more of a rain threat to the I-5 corridor down here. Yeah, I do appreciate all the kind words. Thank you to our new subscribers. Thank you to all the viewers. If you like the stream, make sure to like on Facebook and YouTube. Share to your family and friends if you liked the coverage tonight. And of course, if you feel like it, feel free to send a one-time donation. All proceeds go back into the channel to make sure I can still do this full-time. Although, I do need a lot of help with that. It's looking like I may have to return to full-time work by January if it keeps up like this. But, I'm still beyond grateful for all of my subscribers, everyone who's donated, everyone who makes streams like this possible. I am extremely grateful for all of you who tuned in tonight on such short notice. So from me to you, I got to say thank you all. Not anticipating a live stream tomorrow, so this will most likely be the live stream before Thanksgiving, the last live stream before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Just checking a few other things out here real quick. Yeah, I think barring any super last minute questions, that's going to do it for tonight's weather coverage. Always good to see the regulars in again. And if you guys want to pick up any merch, the day to do so is coming up very soon. So how it's going to go right now is Spreadshop, the site that hosts my merch. Oh, Ashley says, do stars help? I'm not sure if creators benefit too much from them or not. Stars do help. They do. I think creators get about 75 to 80% of the share. And they're billed out on a monthly basis. So the stars that you send anytime through November 30th would get billed out the third week of December. But the best way to donate would be by donating coffees, because this allows me to keep between 80 and 90% of the share. So I'll go ahead and post a link down below in Facebook for you to check out. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, says Keith. And same with Sonia. Good night, everyone. See you on the next stream. Appreciate everyone's support. Very well said. So yeah, the Ko-fi or Ko-fi site, I'm still not sure how it's pronounced, is the #1 way to support Puget Sound Stormwatch. Huge shout out to everyone that has donated. Without you, this would not be possible. But Ashley did send 200 stars, so thank you, Ashley, for sending that. Wow, you are too generous tonight. Really do appreciate that. So yeah, appreciate the generosity, everybody. I think we're 1 like short on Facebook of 40, but that's okay. Check some precip totals again. It's going up a little bit here for the South Sound. We'll do one last little checkup on precip down here. I'll set it to 1 hour as well. So 1 hour precip amounts a little over 1/10 of an inch here in the Federal Way area. And around 1/8 of an inch for Tacoma and a little bit higher over east side. So definitely some pretty good rain falling out there right now. Not treacherous, but enough to really build up those rain gauges a little bit before the night ends. Yeah, Sonia says, thank you for the live stream. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. So, Black Friday coming soon for the Puget Sound Stormwatch store. New designs coming out for shirts and other memorabilia. This is another way of helping support Puget Sound Stormwatch. So stay tuned for that. As a subscriber on Facebook, you guys, I just shared the prototype designs with you guys on the PSSW Superfan subscriber group. So if you want to check those out, let me know what you think. Also have someone on YouTube, I didn't see them tonight, but they specially requested a design for their husband that relates to watching weather streamers like myself. So I was hoping to see them tonight and see if I could have them critique the design, but oh well, guess I'll just have to surprise them for Black Friday. So the site that I use, Spreadshop, is running a promo from Black Friday through Sunday for 30% off orders of $70+. So $70 and above. And also Cyber Monday through Friday. So Cyber Week is what they call it. Should be 20% off all merchandise. So in case you guys have been hesitating to buy up to snag a sweatshirt or a shirt or a hat or any of that, the perfect opportunity is coming up in just a few days and running massive discounts on the store over the next week after that. So really appreciate you guys again for coming out. I think that is going to do it for our live coverage tonight. So this is Anthony with Puget Sound Stormwatch once again signing off. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. You all take care and be sure to spend a lot of time with your families this holiday.